Hey friends, welcome back to Rita Talks. I'm Rita, and on this YouTube channel, I just share some of the thoughts, ideas that I've been thinking about, some of the things that have been going on in my life. And in today's video, just want to talk about maybe some of the things that have been going on in my life. And I don't know, share some of the insights that I've come across today. So basically the first thing that I wanted to talk about is a huge appreciation for Newport's latest book. Basically it's called Slow Productivity, and it's a book that really resonates with me because I don't know if I've talked about this before. I am under the impression that I did, but let me just tell you why I absolutely love this book. It's because it takes a counterintuitive approach to work and basically somewhat puts it into a framework and explains the reasons why this counterintuitive approach beats the hustle culture kind of work, like kind of vision of work. And basically the premise is that with every task that we take on, at the same time, we have an overhead tax that's a daily overhead tax, and that we have to pay every day on top of the work that it takes to accomplish every task. So let's say if you have, like they were giving an example of, let's say you had your job consisted of writing reports that take 7 hours to write and 1 hour to coordinate. On a specific work day, on an 8-hour work day, you would be done with the reports at the speed of 1 report per day. And if you were to scale that up, let's say you take on 2, 3, or 4 reports at the same time in parallel, every day, like half of the day, will go to just coordinating the reports, because each report takes 1 hour to coordinate. And so every day you will be spending 4 hours just coordinating the reports, not not working on the reports at all, just coordinating the reports, and you only have 4 hours every day to work on the reports, which takes 7 hours to complete. And basically he's talking about the fact that our knowledge work, the reason that people take on so much is because knowledge work is inherently hard to measure. You cannot measure the quality of something. You can only measure the number of artifacts. And so when you use this maximizing metric, you maximize the kind of things that you tick off your to-do list, regardless of the importance of these things that you tick off your to-do list. Just tick stuff off for the sake of ticking stuff off, and you also prioritize the shallow work, which does not actually amount to anything, and avoid the hard, deep work that's required to truly make an impact. And honestly, this has resonated with me a lot because, at work, I think probably maybe in any workplace, we somewhat are incentivized to to show some sort of movement, right? To be active, whereas sometimes what you require, to be doing a lot of stuff at the same time, whereas sometimes what you require is to have the time and space to truly think about the problems that you're facing. And basically having these ideas in this book and reading them just kind of gives me solace that I'm on the right path of prioritizing the important over this shallow work, like the important, deep, hard work that requires a lot of free time to be able to think truly about the problems and actually come up with creative solutions. and basically accept that anything worth doing requires a lot of effort to do, and requires more time than people would reasonably allocate to it. And so it requires all of our attention. And it's something that I'm learning to make peace with, like moving at a slow pace compared to this, competitive, I don't know, work culture where you have to look like you're doing 1,000 things at the same time. Moving at a slower pace in the micro scale so that you can move at a fast pace on the macro scale. Because when you don't rush things in the micro scale, you actually take the time to understand how things truly work. And when you understand how things truly work, then you have infinite leverage. You can leverage that knowledge to the infinite by just the fact that you have taken the time to truly understand how things work. And so people associate, rushing in the short term with faster results in the long term. And basically, it's the exact opposite. And that's why I think even in my school, like when I was studying in school, I would honestly be so slow as compared to my peers, because I would literally just take the time to truly understand the lessons, like at such a fundamental level, in a way that, like, I would be able to go through them in my head, like have visualize the concepts that I'm talking about in such a vivid way, because I spend so much time on the lessons, and that's what allowed me to have the insights that some of my peers could not have because they were just trying to rush through things. So yeah, like just reading this book kind of gives me solace in this way of approaching things, of taking my time to truly understand things, and unless things are clear in my head, to not, give in to the short-term speed, to not basically favor short-term speed, and I'm putting it between quotes because it's not really speed, it's just rushing through things that would cost you a lot over the long term. And for like basically we're giving up long-term speed for short-term speed pretty much. So yeah, that's just something that I've been thinking about a lot today, just because I'm reading this book and I'm really enjoying this book because it like finally is putting into words something that I've intuitively felt throughout my years of studying, or my years of working. It's just, I would know, like I had made peace with the fact that I'm slower to understand than any of my peers, but my level of understanding, after having been patient with myself to go at a slow pace, is much deeper than someone who just rushed through the understanding part and did like the hello world version of whatever thing. My goal is not to do the hello world version. My goal is to build like something that's actually worthy, rather than just rush to do the examples that are pretty straightforward and then pat myself on the back for being, wow, I have gone through this in the fastest way possible. And yeah, it's basically kind of reminds me of the philosophy, like the running philosophy, I think, that I had heard about in the book. I think it was Born to Run. And basically the philosophy was, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And basically, like, I mean, I think I'm completely butchering the quote, but I think that was it. And basically just underlined the fact that if you want to go fast, like for endurance running or whatever, any endurance sport, you have to start by going slow, because the way that it works in our body is that we have multiple zones of cardio, And so around zone 3, like we have 5 zones of cardio: zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3, zone 3, zone 4, and zone 5. These are cardio zones. And so zone 1 and 2 are mostly basically like you mostly burn fat and you don't need that much carbs. And starting from zone 3 up until zone 5, you start relying more and more on carbs, and your reliance on fats decreases. And so basically the secret to endurance running is actually building up such a good base for your fitness in zone 2 and zone 3 so that you can basically at the same heart rate go at a faster pace. So basically for any endurance training, you need to train like 80% of the time in zone 2 or lower so that you can build your endurance base and start to go at faster speeds at the same heart rate. And basically beginners, when they just get into running or whatever endurance sport, they start going at they start running at zone 3, 4, and 5, and then they feel like, oh, I cannot make progress, I'm already running as fast as I can. But they don't realize, like, the people who run like who actually are really good at endurance sports, the reason that they are able to run that fast over that much of this distance is that they have trained so much in the zone 2 or like low heart rate zones, that basically their body has become efficient at those heart rates and has allowed them to basically run at a faster pace, but at the same heart rate. And basically it's this idea of going slow to go fast. If you want to go fast, then you need to start by going slow, because you want the right kind of fast, which is the fast that's fueled by fat rather than by carbs, because there is like the second you start burning carbs, lactic acid starts to build up in your limbs, and that's when your muscles start to hurt and you cannot go any faster. And the thing about going fast, like zone 3 to zone 5, is that it's not sustainable, so you cannot do it for an extended period of time because of the lactic acid. And yeah, your body is not made to be at those zones for extended periods of times. Those zones are meant for short bursts, and so basically in any endurance training you need to spend 80% of your training in the low heart rate zone so that you can build your endurance base. And also like the other 20%, or like I don't know how, like what are the specific ratios. I think it was like if you're a beginner it's 95-5. If you're a bit more advanced then it gets more, like it becomes 80, 10, and 10. I don't remember exactly the ratios, but anyway, like let's say you're a beginner and you're doing 95-5. So 95% of the time you need to be in zone 2. So anything below zone 2. And the 5% of the time is when you do interval training, and that's where you're trying to push your upper bound of I don't know, cardio. Like you're trying to push what's your highest heart rate, and you're also trying to increase your volume of oxygen that's consumed by your body, just on like per minute, using the VO2 max metric. So I mean, I think I'm completely butchering all of these metrics and stuff because I'm not like a sports expert, but I did run 2 half marathons, which is not a lot. I am planning on running more this year. But yeah, that's my understanding from the books and contents I've consumed about this kind of training. So yeah, also it's like it's been a while since I've read any of this stuff, so it's kind of rusty. But that's what I can remember about this stuff. But yeah, like don't follow my advice. Like if you like, you should probably get like some sort of coach or do your own research about this kind of stuff. But I can just tell you like what I'm sharing is just about what I've learned or what I'm somewhat applying to my own training for these kinds of races. So overall, pretty good day. Lots of meetings, to be honest. But it was a good day. I had lunch with my manager from my internship, which was super nice to catch up with him. Yeah, it's good to hear about all of the stuff that's going on in their org, etc. I, also catched him up on whatever is happening from my side, the recent changes, so the French citizenship, the promo, and the change of teams, and all of that stuff. And it was super nice to catch up with him. And yeah, it's something that, like, I sent him an invite maybe once every 2 months to just have like some sort of lunch or whatever catch up chat, which I think is a good cadence because like I've tried like faster cadences, like maybe 1 month cadence with people, and basically it goes by so fast that it's just too short basically. Whereas on a longer cadence, you can make it work more, and basically it becomes more important, like more sacred, like you kind of respect that meeting more than it was if it was on a more regular cadence, because probably on a more regular cadence uh, you will cancel more, whereas if you have like a sparse cadence, like you're gonna move it around and make sure that you actually go there. So yeah, you actually have it on your calendar and stuff. But yeah, those are the things that I wanted to share for today. Thanks a lot for tuning in. You can click here to watch my previous video on this channel, the one right before this one, or you can click here to watch my latest video on the channel overall. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic rest of day, night, whichever time of day it is where you are right now. Bye for now, and hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye.